love, baby. Yeah, I am a boss in the cut, mayday. Bubbles and these models are it's popping, I tip her. I skip her, I give her the girl, you on my line right now. Yeah, I can see the signs right now. Feeling like a boss right now. Feeling like a boss right now. And you just took a loss right now. Dripping in the sauce right now. Get a sprinkle up my style. I'm about to lock down.
Feel like in the real life, dripping on sauce in the good life. You shine, I shine, and ain't nobody gonna take.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one on tap between the Portland Lumberjacks and the Brooklyn Beats. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Portland Lumberjacks and the Brooklyn Beats. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Brooklyn ball club. And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for this visiting Portland club, things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point. But, boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll have the speedy Tyrod Taylor calling the shots, the former Virginia Tech Hokie.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets.
Nowhere to get away, and down he goes. Taylor is sacked. Preston Smith in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Out of the gun, it's Taylor. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. And that one results in 35 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on this first drive. Instead, second down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. And they come into top 10 unit against the pass, currently 8th in the NFL.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack.
Taylor incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Taylor, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback, because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
3rd and long. Taylor and company hoping to regroup after the sack. From the gun, it's Taylor. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Give him 8 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. On is Josh Lambo for the field goal try. From the right hash, this from 45 yards away. And Lambo will put this one through. And the opening drive of the game yields 3. So an opening drive field goal maybe doesn't whip this crowd into a frenzy, but I think that they will take the early lead.
There's no doubt about it. They will always take the early lead, and maybe that celebration comes later if they play well and they can break things open. But right now, this is all about letting the offense just get settled in.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by their quarterback, a product of NC State. It's Jacoby Brissett.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
Geis, his first carry of the game. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Second down, Brissett. Incomplete. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Brissett. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
It'll be a 39-yard punt. Give him a good 10 yards on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now this offense about ready to take over again. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs? It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep two hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down. And here now the offense heading back out there. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Here we go. Grand 38.
They start on the ground with Geis. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4. Well, look now at our starting defense. They come into this one rounding out the top 10 in the 10 spot against the run.
Now if they could just get their pass defense in line, this unit would be really, really strong. And remember the conversation with the defensive coordinator? He wants them to rush the passer better. He wants to see the quarterback on the ground. They've got to create some sacks.
And he said it starts early and often. We'll see if they can get to him.
Here we go. Grand 38.
Brissett now on 2nd down. He gets it into the hands of Gronkowski, complete. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
It's a gain of 3, and it gets him the 1st.
Each team has its own terminology. Some people call it jumbo, some call it monster, some call it king. But it doesn't really matter. They brought in the big lumber to pick up that 1st down.
Yeah, you think about goal line defense with the goal line offense that time getting it done. Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Portland in control of the football here to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a 1st down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Let's go. Grand 38.
Back to the ground on 1st. It's Geis. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Now, Brissett, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Takk McKinley in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line.
Then we got to give a little tip of the cap for the defense there. Zone coverage, locked it in tight, made it really difficult because they tried the crossing route against it, and it worked for a completion, but you have to know where the sticks are on 3rd down. Didn't get beyond them, no pickup.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Now this offense ready to head back out there. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
Now Taylor to throw on second down. And this is incomplete. Red Allison, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short. So he's 3 for 7 throwing the football right now. Not an awful start, but also not the sharpest of starts.
No, I would agree with that. But if you're a confident quarterback and to play that position you have to be, you just act like there's something wrong with the wind currents or something wrong with the ball.
It is not you. Keep throwing. That timing usually develops.
3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league and converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, 3rd down conversions. So they got one there. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Taylor. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll run now with Ware. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line.
I think Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. On second down, here's Taylor. And finding the tight end Hooper. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And this offense on 3rd down today, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Taylor. He's got it. This is Ware. And they convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On the ground, this is Ware. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 1:58 to go in this first half of play. Back to the booth right after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. On second down, Taylor. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on third down.
Let's go, let's go. Ready. 319. 319.
From the gun, Taylor. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's fourth down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. He hit his first, this one from 38. And Lambo will put this one through, and that will make it 6-0. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, Parker, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
To throw, Brissett. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, second down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10.
Let's go. Man, 38.
Throwing again, Brissett on 2nd and 10. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that, that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
First and 10, Brissett. Over the middle to Beckham. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Here we go. Try 38. Try 38.
They'll throw again. Brissett. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. A first down throw for Brissett. He goes full extension, and he's got it. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. This will be their first trip to the red zone. 1st and 10 at the 19.
Come on, let's go. Try 38.
From the red zone now, Brissett. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Come on, let's go. Try 38.
Again, it's Brissett. Looking for the end zone. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. Here's Brissett finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break.
Here we go. Try 38.
Brissett again. And it's caught. Touchdown. In for the score. And his guys are an extra point away now from taking the lead.
After nearly 30 minutes of football, that touchdown puts us in a position where if they make the extra point, we're right back to even before we start the second half.
Kai Forbath on for the extra point. Forbath able to convert the extra point, and that will give them the lead here as we get on towards halftime. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. Forbath out to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Spencer Ware and the rest of his offense retaking the field. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Well, they have the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. The NFL season going to be about 2/3 complete after this weekend, so lots to get to as we check out what's going on here in Week 11. We'll begin out in the windy city of Chicago, and it's the Saints who are out in front. Mike Evans, a touchdown reception. From there, it's off to North Carolina to check on the Panthers at home in Charlotte. And in that one, it's the visiting Giants who have the lead. Amari Cooper, a touchdown reception. Finally, let's get up to the place they call Titletown, Green Bay, Wisconsin, to see what's happening with the Packers. And they were losers in that one as they fall to the visiting Seattle Seahawks. Chris Thompson, a touchdown run in the victory. In our game is Jacoby Brissett, who's led the way on offense in the first half. His guys lead, though, by only a point. It's been a tight one. As for the start of the third quarter, we'll send it back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here they come, the road team now getting the football first to start this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Throwing, Brissett, and his throw's going to be incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
On third down, Brissett. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Call it a gain of 3, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he's on to kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%. Now Taylor looking to throw on second down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that and have explosive plays, that's often...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Preston Brown, the linebacker. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
So out now comes the offense back onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Brissett to throw on first. Quickly to Gronkowski. That's caught. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Let's go!
On the handoff, it's Geis. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
This offense so far on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3.
Here we go! Brand 38!
Out of the gun, Brissett. He finds Beckham complete. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Come on, let's go!
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Brissett now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10.
Come on, let's go! Brand 38!
They'll run with Geis. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Geis with a carry on 2nd down, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. We've become so accustomed to it, you sort of take it for granted.
You really do, but he is so good that every team in his division, every year, is trying to make sure they draft people charged with trying to block J.J. Watt. So far, hasn't been too successful.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the shotgun, it's Brissett. Throwing left side, he's got Gronk complete. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 4th down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
On now is Kai Forbath to try the field goal. From the left hash, this will be a 41-yarder. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now just east of Manhattan in Brooklyn. This one's still anybody's ball game. It's a 1-point difference here as we begin the fourth quarter of play. And Forbath will put this one through, and they bump the lead up to 4 now at 10-6. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now back out comes the offense. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards on the play.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. They'll throw on first down with Taylor. Wide open receiver complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On first down, it's Taylor. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock the Albert away and bring up second down.
Taylor incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10. To throw is Taylor. Going to throw again. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, mini camp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
The offense on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Again, it's Taylor. Eluding the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down. 1 score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They run it here. Ware. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th.
4th and inches, does he get the first? You bet he does. He knows exactly where he needs to be, and he's going to fight his way forward to get a couple of yards and ensure he keeps the chains moving.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Throwing now, Taylor on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he will take this this one in for a touchdown. Rhett Ellison, his first touchdown on the year. And his guys have taken the lead here in the fourth.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had two previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it works very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Extra point tacked on by Lambo. And that gives him a 3-point lead. So that drives 7 plays in length. Here's Lambo out to kick this one away. This will be taken about the 12. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Wide open receiver complete. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. First down, Brissett. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10.
Let's go! 38!
On 2nd down, Brissett again. Incomplete, almost intercepted. They haven't picked him off yet. Would have been a great time for the first, but instead it's 3rd down. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
Oh, no, he lost the football.
Plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So it's our visitors with a football as we get you reset. And they've got a 4th down now in a game that, to be honest, has been pretty much everything we could have asked for. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it.
Let's go! What?
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. That's caught inside the 20. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. He's back to throw. And it's caught. Touchdown. Rob Gronkowski, his third touchdown now on the year. And his guys have taken the lead here in the fourth.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. They do tack on the extra point as well, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Forbath out to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Tyrod Taylor now gears up to lead his offense again. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another fourth-quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Back to throw. He's got it. This is Ware. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Back to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Finding some room at midfield. And finally brought down at the 38. Turns out to be a great idea to tuck that one. Good for 24 yards. First down now, but that clock rolling. They'll look to throw. Open here, Adam Thielen. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. He'll look to throw. He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the fourth.
Wow, wow. How many people are watching this one right here who gave up? Because that score, they might want to try and rush back into this stadium.
Yeah, what looks like is going to be the game-deciding score, although a little bit of time left, so you can't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Well, they better come back in here and watch this one because you and I, we're not going anywhere. We want to see this one play out.
Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. Point after by Lambeau, up and good. So it's now a 3-point game here in the closing stages as a field goal now can only tie it. 5 plays there on that drive. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Now this offense about ready to take over again. They only need a field goal. Obviously the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you got a decision. Are you in field goal range or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
A false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. Brissett looks to throw. And that one drops to the ground, incomplete. Clock stops here just inside of 20 seconds, 19 left.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
Here's Brissett. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop him with 13 seconds left to play.
Let's go!
On first down, this is Geis. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. And his kick is good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds, and now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. On the run, it's Ware. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag. But you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Excellent field position after the face mask penalty. 1st and 10 out near midfield. Throwing now is Taylor. He's going to loft one deep. And this is going to be intercepted. Taylor picked off by another Taylor. It's Jamar Taylor. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And here now the offense heading back out there. Set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
And it's been loud in here so far. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. He wasn't able to really get anything going in regulation. Maybe it'll be a little different story here in overtime.
And it appears that with that call, they want to establish the run in overtime, try and set the tone for what they're going to get done. And you're right, maybe it didn't work so well in regulation. Overtime could be the charm. And by the way, yards count either way.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
You got to remember, because now that we're in overtime, mistakes get magnified. So you got to walk that line between being aggressive and being careful, because that was a dangerous throw right there. You obviously could not have an interception in this spot.
It nearly was an interception. He's lucky to get that one back. To throw, Brissett throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that'll bring up 4th down. The temptation to go for it probably there. Always is, especially in overtime. Got to punt it, though.
I think you're right. I think that you absolutely have to punt it away and trust your defense, especially play a little field position here. But you're so right about the temptation. Another way to satisfy that, though, line up in punt formation and fake it. That's another way to get it done.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez on for a very important punt here in overtime. Now this offense ready to head back out there. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to him, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Now part 1 is done, now part 2. And he whips that one incomplete there. He was looking for Cooper Kupp there. And now it's 2nd down. Keeping the aggression going on defense in overtime here, a 1st down blitz.
You know you can get burned on it big time if they pick it up. But in this situation, they brought the blitz, put some pressure on the QB, and he wasn't able to complete a pass downfield.
2nd and 10 now. It's Taylor. He's going to float this one deep right side. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
On 3rd down, Taylor. They'll leave this for Ware. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice gain. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that's going to make it 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. That's pulled in at the 32. Call it an even 40-yard punt, 7 though on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. It's the linebacker, Manti Te'o, on the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Play fake. Brissett. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. Oh, he almost had it. Would have been a big interception here in OT. Instead, it'll give him another shot on third down. That's one of those pivotal plays that'll just stick out in everybody's mind from this game. If he picks that off, what a momentum swing down here in the end zone.
And he did his job. He knocked the ball away. But it does feel like a letdown for him and his teammates, doesn't it? A chance to intercept it, turn it back over to his offense with a chance to win the game.
And this offense on third down today, they've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 9.
Come on, let's go!
From the gun, here's Brissett. And this is going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez. He's been terrific so far. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. Neither team scored yet. Now we go to sudden death. Next points win this game.
How about the tension right now? It is ratcheted up, isn't it? I mean, now whatever happens, points are scored, that's your ball game. Can't wait to see the defense now. Do they get a little more aggressive in order to not let a team just drive the ball easily down the field?
Got to be careful, though, right?
Yeah, if you're too aggressive, you just give up something easy and cheap. But some defensive coordinators, they'd rather take a stand that way as opposed to being nickel and dime down the field.
So he hooked up with a veteran there, and in overtime, that's not a bad idea. Go with the age and the experience.
Yeah, because sometimes the young guys, they give you the fresh legs and give you all that bounce. But in this type of a situation, sometimes those legs slow down a little bit as the enormity of the moment overwhelms them. The veteran guys, they tend to come through.
On 1st and 10, it's Taylor. He'll find Thielen working the middle. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. From the gun, it's Taylor. And finding the tight end, Hooper. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. He has a first down, and that catch will also put him over 100 yards receiving now on the afternoon.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10, as they've got things rolling on this drive. To throw again is Taylor. It's caught over the middle, Hooper. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. And the line to gain here is the 37 on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Taylor. And he's got room. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, how about this? The very, very rare tie that we just witnessed. Hard to believe.
You don't see it very often. A bonus period of football, yet both teams go home a little bit unsatisfied.
So that's it. No double overtime until the playoffs rolled around, so that means this one ends in a tie.
Yeah, that's ultimately unsatisfying for both teams, the fan bases. Heck, for us.
True.
We came here to see a winner, right?
We did.
Winner and a loser. We didn't get it. We end up with a tie. Everyone walks away. A little bit cranky on this one.
Man.
Yeah,
MEH, man. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.